Was good? It's Jimmypocketts. I'll be headed to Vegas in May. Looking forward to make a few vlogs out there. Today, though, we play at our very first official home game. I never played at a home game before, besides my hometown one with, people I went to high school with. So I was a little nervous pulling up. I was worried this game was going to play too big for me and be just tougher than casinos in general. It's a 1-2 game with 1,000 max. Right away, though, I noticed no one's sitting at the max for 1,000, so that calms my nerves a little. If you're local in the Jersey, New York area and want a seat at the next game, DM me on Insta at Jimmypocketts. I'll connect you with the host. There's tons of action, free food, free drinks. Let's get into hand number one. I look down at Jack 10 offsuit and the hijack. The cutoff makes it 10. I call the button and the small blind calls. We head to the flop. 4 ways of Jack 6-3. The cutoff C-bets for 20. I'm the only caller. We're heads up now. The turn is the king of diamonds. He slows down and checks it to me now. I'm thinking my jacks are good, so I bet out for 35. He calls, and the river is the ace of hearts. Now he leads out for 60. I'm disgusted. This is the perfect card from the bluff at. I really can't call here with third pair. I let it go. Next, we get dealt pocket aces in the small blind. There's 2 limps, and then the button makes it 7. I 3-bet him to 21. The 2 limpers call, and the button folds. We go to a flop 3 ways of Jack 10-6. I bet out 20, and only a low jack calls. We're heads up now. The turn is a 9 of hearts. Now I bet out 40, and he calls again. The river is a 10 pairing the board. I don't like it when the 10 pairs in the river like this. So I check it over to him. He checks back. I show we're good. I take it down, but I'm still unsure if I need to be betting here for value on this river. 11 minutes later, we get dealt pocket aces again. I haven't even been at this table for 20 minutes yet, and I've already gotten dealt pocket aces twice. The straddle's on. I'm in the hijack. Middle position makes it 11. I 3-bet him to 30. It folds around to the under the gun straddle, and he 4-bets to 100. It folds back to me. I posture a bit, but don't you just love getting 4-bet when you have pocket aces? I don't know what to do here, though, because if I 5-bet jam all in, my hand is pretty much face up. At that point, I'm saying I have pocket aces or kings, and I know this is a good thinking player. They call him Panda. I know he regularly plays higher stakes, and if I 5-bet jam on him, I don't want him to hero fold something like pocket queens or pocket jacks. I just call thinking we could get stacks in before the river. The flop comes ace-3. We hit quads. He leads out for 70. I continue to slow play it and just call. I don't even like this flop though because we have the board so locked up now. It's going to be hard to get stacks in by the river. The turn is the 8 of clubs. He checks. I check back. I want to give him the opportunity to bluff on the river. The river is the queen of diamonds. He checks it to me. I jam. I cover him, putting him all in. I hope he had pocket queens, and now he just bowed it up on that river. He looks disgusted. I'm thinking, call, please call. Eventually, he folds and shows pocket kings. I take it down. I show my aces. It's a friendly home game. Let him know that he made a good fold. But I think somehow we won the minimum here. I regret not jamming all in pre-flop. He would have definitely called with pocket kings. I need to stop overthinking the situation. But then again, if he had any other holding, he probably would have folded to my pre-flop jam. Or if there wasn't 2 aces on the flop, I could have stacked him. So maybe my play wasn't that bad. About 1 hour later, we get dealt Jack 9 of diamonds in the small blind. Few limps, and I make it 15. Only the undergun plus 2 calls. We go to a flop heads up of ace, king, 7, rainbow. I decide to bluff. I lead out for 15, and he calls. The turn is the king of hearts pairing the board. I continue bluffing and bet out 30. He folds, and we take it down. I show it anyways. I want the table to see I'm capable of bluffing, and I'm not just betting with value hands. We look down at ace-10 offsuit. Panda in middle position opens at 15. I 3-bet in the big blind to 45. He calls. We go to flop heads up of ace, 9, 7 with 2 clubs. I c-bet for 30, and he calls. The turn is the jack of diamonds. I bet out 45. He folds, and we take it down. I get dealt pocket eights in the cutoff. Panda opens to 10 under the gun, and I 3-bet to 30. The small blind and under the gun calls. We're 3 ways. The flop comes 8, 9, 5 with 2 clubs. We have a set. I c-bet for 30, and only Panda calls. The turn is a 3 of spades. He checks it to me, and I bet out 65. He calls again. The river is a 6 of hearts. He checks it to me. I get a little worried with the 4 to straight out there, so I check it back. I show the set. It's good, and we take it down. I'm in the big blind, and I look down at pocket 4s. Panda in the hijack makes it 10. I call. We're heads up. Somehow I keep playing pots against the one guy at the table that I don't want to play against. The flop comes ace, 3, 5, rainbow. I check it to him. He bets 10, and I call. The turn is the queen of clubs. I check again. He checks back this time. The river is the 8 of clubs. Since I miss and he checked back the turn, the only way I'm going to win this pot is if I bluff at it. So I bet out 15. He 3-bets me at 60. Well, that didn't work. I end up just letting it go. I look down at ace-6 of spades under the gun. I open for 15 and under the gun plus 2 and the big blind calls. We're 3 ways. The flop comes ace, 7, 6 with 2 diamonds. We had 2 pair. The big blind donk leads out for 20. I was going to bet out 20 anyways, so I just call and the under the gun plus 2 calls. The turn is a 3 of hearts. The big blind checks now, so I bet out 40 and only the big blind calls. We're heads up. The river is the 9 of clubs. He now leads out for 100. This is the worst card we could have seen. The straight draw and the flush draw completes. I really just can't lay down 2 pair here. I have to call. I call. We show it. We're good. He says he tried to bluff me. He didn't have anything. We take it down. Next, we get dealt queen jack offsuit in the low jack. I bet out 15 in the hijack. 3-bets me to 45 next act. It folds back around to me, and I end up calling. This is a pretty light call out of position. I probably fold here at the casino, but this is my first time at this home game. I don't want to be labeled as a nit. We're heads up. The flop comes 9, 6, 4. I check it to the pre-flop aggressor, and he checks back. The turn is the king of diamonds. I decide to start bluffing now since he checked the flop, and I bet out 30. He calls, and the river is a 4, pair in the board. I bet out 45 now. I hope he folds. I can't beat anything. He thinks for a while and ends up folding. We got the bluff through. I show the table. I'm always proud when I get a bluff through because a year ago I would have never attempted something like this. I'm glad I'm improving and becoming harder to play against. I make it 15 under the gun with jack 9 of clubs. Middle position and the cutoff call were 3 ways. Flop comes 3, 3, 3. I bet out 15 and only the cutoff calls. Now the turn is a 7 of hearts. I continue bluffing. I bet out 30 and he calls again. The river is another 7, putting a boat out on the board. I give up and check it over to him because if I bet I think only a hand better than the board will call me. He bets out 55. I fold. But I can't help but think he bluffed me off a chop pot here. We get dealt pocket 7s in the small blind. Middle position, who is Panda, makes it 15. The button calls, and I 3-bet the 45. They both call. We're 3 ways now. The flop comes jack, 9, 6. I don't think this is a good spot to c-bet at, try to bluff. So I check it over, basically giving up. Panda senses weakness, and he bets out 75 next to act. We both fold, and he takes it down. Last hand of the night, we get dealt king jack offsuit. I bet out 15 from middle position, and the button calls. We're heads up. The flop comes queen, 10, 6, all diamonds. He checks it to me. We're open-ended with the flush draw, so I bet out 15. He calls, and the turn is a 3 of diamonds. He checks. We hit the flush, but I check back. Maybe he'll bluff on the river. Sadly, he checks again. When another diamond falls on the river, it's a 7. So I bet out 30. He folds, and we take it down. We're over 400, out for 882. That's a profit of 482 in about 6 hours of play. That's actually the longest session I ever sat for. But that's it for today. I'll see you guys on the next one.